Hey everybody, I'm here with Travis Hollins from Yamaha. He is the specialist on the YXZ. We've got a lot of new improvements and a lot of exciting things to talk about. He's going to give us a little tour, a walk around, and I know tons of you are asking about the gear reduction, so I'm going to have him explain that to us. So Travis, take it away.
All right, thanks. Yeah, the gear reduction is one of the main improvements that we made this year, and really it's a two-step thing. We've got a new middle gear. It's 7% lower, so that basically means all the way from first to fifth gear, it's a 7% reduction. The first gear, we've actually reduced another 16.5%. So your overall first gear reduction is almost 24% reduced gear ratio. But second through fifth is going to be a 7% reduction. We've also gone with a bigger 29-inch tires, so that also affects the gear ratio as well. So at the end of the day, top speed's been maintained, but you've actually got a much lower first gear ratio, which really makes everything easier. We've also done a bunch of improvements to the sport shift system. So what we call that half clutch, when the clutch engages and doesn't engage, the amount of time has actually been reduced pretty drastically. So that also improves the overall durability of the clutching system and the drivetrain. There's a whole bunch of other improvements that weren't mentioned in the presentation. The tires we talked about, the brake systems all around have been improved. They now come with stainless steel brake lines. They got bigger pistons, bigger rotors, bigger calipers, master cylinders bigger. So the brakes have all been improved. And then one of the big things, obviously, is the rear radiator. So in the past, if you ride through a lot of mud and water, you might get that front radiator clogged up. So moving the radiator to the back side now, you can see this radiator runs the entire width of the back of the cargo box. Really big radiator. It's about 30% more volume than in the past. We've got two huge fans underneath the radiator that actually pull about 3 times or 300% more airflow through that radiator. And the main thing is it's in the back. So none of that heat is going through the cabin anymore. So reducing the cabin temperature, keeping it out of the mud, and just keeping it clean is a huge, huge improvement for it overall.
What else do you have for us? I mean, obviously the gear reduction's big. The heat out of the cab is going to be loved by everyone. Any other things, design changes, or anything you can point out?
Yeah, absolutely. We did change the overhead drop system. We did a lot of studying and a lot of research with customers. The styling of the old upper roof was something that they wanted improved. So we actually lowered the roof height in the middle. We actually raised the sidebar of the upper rock support. So getting in and out of the cabin is actually much easier. We also raised the front of the windshield, so visibility is improved, especially when you're going up some of those big sand dunes or bigger hills. So just from a styling, aesthetic standpoint, just making some changes and adjustments and a little bit more for what people are looking for. There's a lot of little details. We changed the sway bar size a little bit. The bearings and the hubs are bigger. The main drive shaft, coupler, and seal have been changed. Just a lot of details, to try to improve overall durability, improve drivability. Really a lot of that trail riding, slower speed aspect has really been dramatically improved without sacrificing the top speed. And probably one of the bigger things that you'll notice right off the bat is the overall suspension. So we made a lot of changes to the suspension. The internals are new, the spring rates are new, the valving is new. We're really looking to improve the overall comfort without sacrificing that high-speed handling. So when you drive it, it's going to be a lot more comfortable. The steering's still going to be really precise. Handling's going to be great. We've added spring protectors to the shock bodies, so the springs don't rub on the threads. Crossovers. We've actually added a dual spring crossover option for the RC2 shocks. So just like the X2s in the past had the dual springs, now you can get those in the RC2s as well. So just a lot of big improvements.
So the guys that are already, where they're asking, where's the turbo, where's the turbo? Tell us what you've done to help the ease of that process.
Yeah, so we have a GYTR accessory turbo kit. It's actually CARB compliant, so it's legal to sell in California up through the 2018 model. We're working on getting that approved for the 19 model. But really the big thing in adding those turbos was pulling the engine out and putting new connecting rods in it to support the added power and boost. So for 2019, we've actually already put those rods in the motor. So now you don't have to pull the motor out, you don't have to pull it down, you can just directly bolt the turbo onto the YXZ. You get about 60% more power out of it when you do that, and just really simplified and reduce the overall cost to add a turbo onto the YXZ.
From the previous models to the 19, is there any horsepower improvements, how it is?
No, the horsepower is the same. The engine's basically the same from that perspective. There's been some, environmental changes for EPA and those sort of things to make sure we stay up to date and current on all the emission standards that are required. But as far as performance and power and all that, it's the same. But because of the gear ratio change and the tire change, we actually do have better acceleration. So if you were to actually drag race a previous year model to this year model, you're going to get more traction, you're going to get more driving force, and it's going to accelerate harder with that new gear ratio change.
And lastly, give us a tour of the new GPS system and how that's going to work.
Yeah, we've got a great new system. It's called the Adventure Pro. We worked with Magellan to do it. The main thing with that system is it actually ties into the information from the machine. So you can actually log engine temperature and RPM and mile per hour. You can also track what's happening with the vehicle. You can get service codes out of it, all that information. From that perspective, you can also tie that back to the GPS function of the tablet. It's also basically a computer. So it's an Android tablet. So you can add different applications to it. You can add your music to it. You can tie it into the sound systems, all of those things. You can share it on social media. You can actually create tracks. So if you wanted to create a big path or a trail system, you want to share that with your buddy and tell him, hey, go to this ride park and do this trail. It was really good. So you can send that information to your friend. They can do that trail. You can actually see some improvements that you've made. So if you want to do a timing, I went so fast with this tire, I switched it to another tire, and I did it even faster or slower, and you can really log in all that information. So it's a fantastic system. I think it's really going to be a future of side-by-sides and products and kind of really that information center, if you will, for the vehicle.
All right, Travis, I appreciate it very much. Right. Jared here at Big Pine Sports, and you just got the first look of the all-new 2019 Yamaha YXZ 1000. A lot of exciting changes have taken place. We're super excited about what's to come. What do you guys think? What's your thoughts? I'm here. I can give them some feedback. More to come. We will be out test driving this machine. Talk to you soon. Check us out on the web, bigpinesports.com. Give us a call, 435-427-3338.